So Cameron, welcome AVonAir. We're here at InfoComm 25. I got Cameron Boyce, right? You say
That's
Boyce?
correct.
All right, I nailed it. We've got a bunch of Birddog gear here in the booth. There's obviously tons here on the InfoComm show floor. You guys have your booth set up with good things. But we're using a bunch of it here in the booth, so I feel like we should talk. I just want to talk through the setup.
Yeah, absolutely. You got a lot of good stuff, like you said. It's kind of all over, top, bottom, and behind the scenes.
We got, so what do we have? I'm trying to decide where to start. I guess the cameras are in front of us, so that's where we should start, right? These are the X1 cameras, right?
Yeah, these are our X1s, so these are kind of our intro level to the X series.
Yep.
You're getting 1080, 60 out of those cameras, and a lot of cool features as well. You get NDI decoder built in, NDI over Wi-Fi, tally light, e-ink display. They're really, for what you're getting at that intro level, it's an unbelievable camera.
I really love the redesign on these cameras from the old generation cameras, specifically in terms of the tally light design. We're sitting here using it live, and we've been using it live today, and it's so intuitive for the folks that are here on camera. You know, I'm a technical guy, but not everybody who's on camera is a technical person. But this makes it very clear kind of what we're looking at, what cameras are active, what cameras are queued up, and those types of things. So I really like that. Can you tell me a little bit about the sensor in the cameras? Because that's obviously a huge deal. Yeah. I know Birddog's all about like low light performance. It's kind of a trademark of the company. So I don't want to misspeak about which sensors in these cameras. Maybe you can tell us a little bit about that.
So in these cameras is Sony CMOS sensors. So they're 1/2.8 inch sensors. You're getting really good low light performance out of those for what they are. We've been very like cognizant of using like Sony image modules and things like that just to make that image quality is at a higher standard. We really want like customers and end users to feel really good about the image they're getting out of those cameras, even at the like beginning level all the way up to the top stuff.
Yeah, I love that. I know this is a huge go-to line for me, especially, I mean, if I see the term low light, not good light, terrible lighting, something like that, it's like this is a great place to start. Those Sony sensors, I mean, you know, they're the best in the game,
Absolutely.
aren't they? Yeah, top shelf. So those, we got, 3 X1s in here that we're using for a couple different shots. We've got, the Mach-E Live, which is a huge new release at NAB this year.
Absolutely. That's our newest camera, Mach-E Live. That's a little box camera, so 4K 30, really getting a lot of resolution out of that small form factor. It's genuinely smaller than probably a beer can.
It's tiny.
Small.
That's a great comparison
there. We had beer cans with the Mach-E Live logo on it at NAB, and next to each other they are shockingly close in size. But 4K 30, you're actually getting 3x optical out of it, which getting any zoom out of something that size is incredible. But having it optical, then 3x digital after that is really, really nice to have. Yeah. You get the tally light, and then you also get a battery in it, 6 hours at 4K, 8 hours at 1080, and those are like, we've tested those. Our product managers have put those things to the work. That's like accurate numbers. So that's not like, we advertise 6 hours, but it only works for 3 or 4 or something. No. That. That's a real deal. If we say it's 6 hours, you'll get 6 hours.
Plus, I love that. I love that.
And then it's NDI over Wi-Fi too. It's got an SD card reader. That thing can go on a tripod all the way around the show. We've had it connected and walking around before. It's pretty good.
Oh, that's so cool.
You get some great distance out of that.
I slept on it a little bit when we were talking about it on the cameras on the X1 here, but you know, you mentioned Wi-Fi, NDI over Wi-Fi. I mean, certainly people are asking for video over Wi-Fi solutions. Reliability kind of starts to come into play, but you're now delivering a reliable, well, let's say as reliable as your network is, right?
I always like to say Wi-Fi is this inexact science almost. There's so many variables, but the ability to have that as an option where, you know, sometimes you're just trying to put a camera where you can't always run, you know, Ethernet or Cat 6 to it. So having that, you know, option there. And we have cameras like our X4 and the Mach-E Live, which have a built-in battery, so you are fully wirelessly doing NDI. It is really, really spectacular stuff.
Are you trying to I don't want to say corner a market, right? Are you trying to appeal to content creators? Are you trying to appeal to production staff? Is it a little bit of everybody? Like who's the Mach-E Live for, right?
I think we've tried to get as approachable as possible for a whole variety of use cases, but streaming specifically is a massive one. As someone who views a lot of stream content, I think all of us do at this point. Streamers have always gone to that big DSLR with the lens, and you're getting this $5,000 camera setup for something that's essentially a webcam.
Right.
And so to get that 4K 30 image, you're still getting, Sony image quality.
Yeah.
but it's under $500. It's like, to me, it's, and also having the integrated tally light. So it's features that in that streaming world are actually more helpful than the traditional giant, camera.
Yeah, like a mirrorless or something. It's funny you say that. I mean, for the folks who have seen our AV Exchange webinars and stuff, I use a Sony A7 III mirrorless cam. I mean, it's like, whatever, at the time, a $4,000 or $5,000 giant mess of a thing that is on my desk, and it's like, I really need a hookup on the Mach-E Live.
I know.
It's a good thing I know some people that work at Birddog, so we can make that happen. Yeah, at least you. That's camera side. We haven't even talked about control side. I think in the realm of content creation and streaming and kind of staying in that theme, I know we got the Mach-E Studio back there running with the app. I'm trying not to be a fanboy, but it's so cool. It works so great. Tell us a little bit about the Mach-E Studio.
Yeah, that's kind of been one of the products I've been the most excited about. Not only to, see the reaction to, but also just to play around with on my, on my own. I got to bring one back from NAB and just really set it up in my office and just really flush out all the features. And it is impressive for what that processing is. So what it is essentially is you've got a control surface with the 100%. There's a path there to grow. Maybe your production's growing. You're going from that traditional 3 camera setup to something more elaborate. Maybe adding some overheads and stuff like that. So there's a reason to upgrade to that 6. But you get things like picture-in-picture, which you can fully build out. It's not just little templates you fill in. You can build those out your own. Yeah. You can do things like different transitions. We have HTML graphics, so you can build out full graphics.
I know, it's crazy.
It's crazy powerful.
We're using it here. I mean, like I said, this is the gear we're using to run the AVonAir booth. This is certainly not the only stream we've been doing. We've had some going all day, some live, some recorded, and the back end is so wild to just have like this, it's a small format switcher with the iPad up there kind of on a stand. Yeah. It's like, this is the studio.
Yeah, 100%. We've been calling it the all-in-one mobile switching station because there's so much you can do, and it can fit in the smallest bag. The backpack. Yeah. Yeah. Well, and we're talking streamers, content creation, things like that. I mean, it's all about what can I put in my bag? What can I fly? 100%. What does my fly pack look like, right? Yeah. And that makes it's such a small format. I really love it. We mentioned graphics, lower thirds, transitions, all sorts of like awesome features. When I first got a peek at NAB, it was like, when does the list end? And it seemingly never does. It keeps going. Like even like recently, I was playing around. I was like, oh yeah, I forgot. There's a whole annotation thing, so you can bring up all your Apple like pens and pencils and draw on the screen. So if you want to use it in education things, or like if you're streaming and you want to go back on a game you were playing and like replay John Madden thing, and 100%. So that's so cool. The only piece of gear we also have back there that we haven't mentioned here yet, I know we have the new keyboard. Yes, the KBD. Yes, the KBD. And I got to say, we were setting up some camera presets, and it's out there for control. We were setting up some camera presets earlier, and I was using it, and it feels so nice in my hands. Yeah. Especially for folks that are from traditional control surfaces and keyboards. I forgot to mention this. I love the T-bar on the Mach-E Studio. It's buttery smooth. It feels so good. What a nice feature add. But on the KBD, I mean, give me the highlights of the keyboard. Yeah, so some of those big highlights, the biggest of all, and it's kind of the first thing you see, is that screen on the front. And that adds some cool features for us. Is one, not only can you see a live feed of the camera you're selected on, if you tap that camera again, you're going to get a 4-camera multi-view. Yeah. So having access to seeing all of your cameras at once without having to, bring in an additional monitor or bring in other hardware to get that feed out, having that right there on the screen is super nice. And we can also add tally to that, so you can see which source is live, which is on standby, and things like that. The other one that to me is the biggest selling point is the fact that you can change all of your settings directly from the hardware without having to even open a laptop. Network settings, add devices, your whole source list, all of that kind of stuff. Checking your firmware, factory resets, all right on the hardware. So it just makes that initial configuration that much easier on the end user. I gotta say, I mean, it's so cool to me. We've been doing the AVonAir studio for, it really kind of started in its infancy in 2018 or so, and it's really morphed into what we now have for AVonAir.
And last year there was a desk with a bunch of hardware on and stuff. And now you don't misunderstand me. We do have a desk. There is some hardware on it, but honestly, the biggest piece of hardware we have is the network switch.
Oh,
that's the bulkiest part of it. Everything else could arguably fit in a bag.
Yeah, it's so slimmed down now from the, you know, doing all the processing on an iPad, so your laptop's gone.
Yeah.
The control surface is so small. Even the KBD, it's a bigger unit, but it fits nice on a desk. It doesn't look oversized.
No.
The biggest part of it is the hand rest on that thing.
Yeah, and it invites you to like put your hand down and start working with the controller and the joystick, which is very smooth. I love the rotary knobs; are so nice. The feel of everything is just high quality, and it gives you a real smooth operation, which is obviously what we're all after here, right?
Yeah, I think the most important thing with a hardware controller is that tactile feel. You know, people go to that so they don't have to use the digital option. So we want that to feel as intuitive and as user-friendly as possible.
When we were on the Maki Studio, we were kind of laying out some presets and things, and I figured out like these buttons are mapped to the controller here, so it's like we don't have to go goofing around with the iPad too much once that's kind of established. Yep. It's a great experience. Cameron, do you know your booth number? You guys are here at InfoComm. There are people watching that are going to be here at InfoComm.
Yeah,
where are you guys at?
We're over in NDI's booth, so you can come say hi to me and the team. We're in booth 3780. Awesome. So right on the back wall over there. You got me, our product manager, Christian Frink, and then our channel manager, Morris. So a really good team, and we're always looking forward to some good conversations back there.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Well, folks, if you're here at the show, certainly go visit. If you're not, we appreciate you watching and getting the scoop. Go to the Birddog website, birddog.tv, right, if I get that
Absolutely.
right? Yeah, good job for me. Go visit them on the web, check them out. You can get in touch with your Midwich rep if you want to talk more and learn about more of the hardware. And Cameron, thanks so much for joining us, man.
Pleasure to be here.
All right, InfoComm 25, AVonAir. Thanks so much.
That was fun.